Welcome to Tungal College online classes. Hello students, how are you all? Today I am going to start an important chapter from chemistry first PUC by the name is atomic structure. This atomic structure has a 10 marks weightage in your PUC examination. 10 marks. You will get two questions from this atomic structure. Each question carries 5 marks. So you will get two questions, each question carries 5 marks, 5 2s are 10, the total weightage is 10 marks. Now let us look into some historical development of atom. Around 400 BC, the Indian and Greek philosophers had begun to speculate on nature of matter. The Greek philosophers like Democritus and Lysippus. So Democritus and Lysippus suggested that if we go on dividing the matter, a stage at which the further division of the particles are not possible, those particles are called as atoms. So let us write the statement. If we go on dividing the matter, a stage at which further division of particles are not possible, those particles are called atoms. Let us understand the meaning of this statement by taking one general example. I am taking a piece of chalk. This piece of chalk is nothing but a matter. So crush it. If you crush it, you will get many number of pieces. Pick up one piece, again crush it, you will get many number of pieces. Pick up one piece, again crush it. If you did so on continuously, finally you will get an extremely small particle. This extremely small particle is called as atom, according to Democritus and Lysippus. Look at the statement. If we go on dividing the matter, a stage at which further division of this particle is not possible. This particle is not possible to divide further. So this particle they called an atom. Take a general example, my body itself. My body is a matter. So cut my body into many number of pieces. Take one small piece. Cut that piece into many number of pieces, take one more small piece from it. If you did continuously, finally you will get extremely small particle. That extremely small particle we have to call as an atom, according to Democritus and Lysippus. Around the same year, the Indian philosophers like Maharshi Kannada and Katyayana suggested the same idea what was suggested by the Greek philosophers. But the Indian philosophers used two different terminology. Instead of using the matter, they use the term padartha, and instead of using the word atom, they used paramanu. So according to Indian philosophers, we can give the statement of an atom is if we go on dividing the padartha, a stage at which the further division of the particles are not possible, that particle we have to call as a paramanu. So here is a matter and padartha, terms are the different, meanings are same. Here atom and paramanu, terms are the different and meanings are same. Now the Greek philosophers Democritus and Lysippus derived the word atom from atomio. The word atom is derived from the Greek word atomio. Atomio, the meaning of atomio is uncuttable. Uncuttable or non-divisible. Greek philosophers derived the word atom from Greek word atomio, meaning is uncuttable or non-divisible. Atom is not possible to cut. Later, in 1808, another scientist came forward by the name is John Dalton. Dalton's atomic theory. 1808. So what is the atom is given by the Greek philosophers and Indian philosophers is taken by the John Dalton. He gave his postulates. So according to John Dalton, postulate number 1, matter is made up of a smallest non-divisible particles are called as atom. Matter is made up of small non-divisible particles called atoms. This point meaning is so this is an atom, this is atom, and this atom is not possible to divide. Atom is impossible to divide, atom is impossible to cut. So matter is made up of small particle. That small particle is not possible to divide. That particle is called as a atom, according to John Dalton. And the second postulate, what he said is atoms of the same elements are same in all aspects. Atoms of same element same in all aspects. This point meaning is suppose I am taking hydrogens. I took the hydrogen from the two different sources. So these are the same elements, same atoms. So atoms of the same element are same in all aspects. And atoms of the different same element I am taking as carbon and carbon. So I am taking the carbon from two different sources. They are same in all aspects. Here are all aspects meaning is they may be atomic properties, or maybe physical properties, or maybe chemical properties. So they are all same in atomic properties, physical properties, and chemical properties. Even you can take nitrogen. These are the same element. Atoms of the same element. The properties are same, physical, atomic, or chemical properties. And another postulate number 3 is given by the John Dalton is atoms of different elements are different in all aspects. Different atoms of different element differ in all aspects. All aspects. For understanding, taking carbon and nitrogen. These two are the two different atoms. Two different atoms, their physical properties, their chemical properties, their atomic properties all will be different. So atoms of different elements are different in all aspects. You can take suppose argon and calcium. So these are the two different elements, they are different in all aspects. The point is atoms are same element, atoms are same in properties, atoms of the different elements are different in all aspects or properties. And another important postulate is given by John Dalton is atoms combine in fixed ratio to form compound. Atoms combine in a fixed ratios and form the compounds. So example, you can take hydrogen react with oxygen. So H2 react with O2, so gives rise to H2O. I am taking as balancing equation. So H2 react with O2 to form H2O. This meaning is atoms of different elements or atoms combined in a fixed ratio they form the compounds or molecules. Next, another important postulate is given by the John Dalton is atoms are the responsible for the chemical reactions. Atoms are for chemical reactions. This point meaning is when the chemical reaction is going on, atoms undergo reorganization. So that the atoms are responsible for the chemical reactions. Atoms are neither created nor be destroyed, but they will be converted into one form to another form. Matter is neither created nor destroyed, it can be changed from one form to another form. So atoms are responsible for the chemical reaction. These are the postulates is given by the John Dalton. But even though he gave the postulates, most of them is invalid. Only to this point is invalid because of we said that an atom is not possible to divide. In 19th century, the different scholars like Rutherford, Thomson, etc., many Millikan, many scholars did experiments on the atom. They find that atom is possible to divide because they discovered electrons, protons, neutrons inside the atom. So electrons, protons, neutrons present in the atom. If atom is not possible to divide, how electrons, protons, neutrons present inside the atom? So based on this point, atom is possible to divide because they contains electrons, protons and neutrons. So this point is invalid. And he said that atoms of the same elements are same in all aspects. Sometimes if you take isotopes, suppose I am taking a carbon 612, carbon 614, both are isotopes. Atomic number is same, mass numbers are the different. Same atoms are different in mass. So what said atoms of same elements are same in all aspects? No, atoms of the same elements will be different in some aspects. Here is mass 12, 14, same element. If you take hydrogen, hydrogen 1, 1, hydrogen 1, 2. Atomic number is same, but they differ in mass number. If you take this case carbon, nitrogen 714, nitrogen 715. So mass number is different. So according to the John Dalton, atoms of same elements are same in all aspects. It is not right. Atoms of the same element differ in some aspects. Another is atoms of the different elements are different in all aspects. Atoms will be different in all properties. No, it will be, suppose I am taking carbon 614, nitrogen 714. Both are different, but here is 14 and 14. Mass number is the same. Different elements have same mass number. So what he said, different elements differ in all aspects. No, they have same mass numbers. If you take argon 1840, calcium 2040, different elements they have same mass number 4040. So this statement also is invalid. And first, matter is non-divisible. He said matter is possible to divide, and he said atoms of the different elements, atoms of the same elements are same in all aspects. The statement is wrong. Some atoms, same atoms have different in mass numbers. Atoms of the different elements are different in all aspects. No, some elements have same mass number, some properties are same. Atoms combine fixed ratio to form compounds. This is the right statement, and this is another valid statement is given by the John Dalton. Later we have further development of atom. So we have to look into the discovery of electrons, protons and neutrons. Electrons, protons and neutrons are also called as subatomic particles because most of the atom is made up of electrons, protons and neutrons. These are also called as fundamental particles. Next we have to look into the discovery of electrons, protons, neutrons. In our PUC syllabus, this academic year some syllabus is reduced. The topics are discovery of electron and discovery of proton and neutron. Next we have isotopes, isobars, atomic number, mass number is reduced. Then we have reduced Thomson model of atom is removed and limitations of Thomson model of atom is removed. Next we have Rutherford's model of atom and its limitations. All these topics are removed. So next we have another topic from the first PUC is electromagnetic radiations. After this topic we have discovery, after John Dalton's atomic theory we have discovery of electron, proton and neutron, isotopes, isobars, atomic number, mass number, Thomson model of atom is there and its limitations, Rutherford model of atom is there and its limitations. All these topics are removed. So next continuation further topic we have is electromagnetic radiation. And the next topic is electromagnetic radiations. Electromagnetic radiations is a self-explanatory term. The term itself has a meaning. Here is electro, I am taking it as electric field, and magnetic, we can take it as a magnetic field. Magnetic field. So by taking these two terms, we can define the electromagnetic radiations as these are the radiations associated with electric field and magnetic field. Let us read the statement. These are radiations associated with electric and magnetic field. So these are the radiations are associated with the electric and magnetic field. According to James Maxwell, when a charged particle moving under acceleration, alternating electric and magnetic field produced and transmitted. These fields are transmitted in the form of waves are called as electromagnetic waves, are also called as electromagnetic radiations. There are different types of electromagnetic radiations. They are gamma rays, X-rays, UV rays, IR rays, microwaves and radio waves. Let us write it. Types of electromagnetic radiations. So there are different types. The first one is gamma rays. The second one is X-rays. Third one is UV rays. Fourth one is IR rays. Fifth one is microwaves. And the sixth one is radio waves. Here is in the UV rays, visible radiation is there, the visible rays also comes in the part of UV radiations. These are the different types of electromagnetic radiations. Now let us look into the properties of electromagnetic radiations. Properties of electromagnetic radiations. Properties of electromagnetic radiations. So property number 1. For understanding purpose, I am taking 3 coordinates. So this I am labeling it as x coordinate. This I am labeling as z, and this one I am labeling as y coordinate. So I am taking 3 coordinates. So in x direction now, this is the direction of propagation. Direction of propagation of a wave. And on y coordinate, I am taking a magnetic component. 2 components is there. One is a magnetic field or magnetic component. Another one is a electric field or electric component. So on y coordinate, I am taking a magnetic component. On z coordinate, I am taking electric component. And another important point is all these 3 coordinates, x coordinate, y coordinate and z coordinates are perpendicular to each other. So this is x coordinate and this is the z coordinate. So x and z are perpendicular to each other, and this is x coordinate, this is the y coordinate. So y and x coordinates are perpendicular to each other. So these 3 coordinates axes perpendicular to each other. Now the point is On y coordinate, on y axis I am taking a magnetic field. So this is a magnetic component. Magnetic component. On z axis I am taking a electric component or electric field. So this is a electric component. On z axis I took electric component, on y axis I took magnetic component. So what is the point here is, this is the direction of the propagation of a wave. Magnetic component perpendicular to the direction of the propagation of a wave, and electric component is perpendicular to the direction of the propagation of wave. In addition to that, electric component and magnetic component perpendicular to each other, because all three axes are perpendicular to each other. So that indicates that electric component, magnetic component and direction of propagation of wave all are perpendicular to each other. Then the point is, the same sentence we can write here. Oscillating electric and magnetic field produced by a oscillating charged particle are perpendicular to each other, and both perpendicular direction of propagation of wave. So this is the postulate number 1. This meaning is, the oscillating electric and magnetic field and magnetic field produced by a oscillating charged particle perpendicular to each other. These two are perpendicular to each other because the y-axis and z-axis are perpendicular to each other, and both are perpendicular direction of the propagation. Electric field and magnetic field perpendicular to the direction of the propagation of a wave. So this is the point number 1, property number 1. And property number 2, these electromagnetic radiations do not require any medium to propagate. Even in vacuum they can propagate. So they do not require a medium, and they can move in vacuum. So electromagnetic radiation do not require any medium to propagate. Even in vacuum they can propagate. Suppose if we take sound waves, if sound waves want to propagate, in the sense they require air as a medium. So without air the sound waves cannot move. But in the case of electromagnetic radiations, they do not require any medium to propagate. Without any medium, that means in vacuum also these electromagnetic radiations can propagate. And another important property of electromagnetic radiations is, the velocity of electromagnetic radiations is same as the velocity of light. So we know very well that the velocity of light is 3 into 10 to the power of 8 meter per second, or we can take 3 into 10 to the power of 10 centimeter per second. So this point meaning is, the velocity of light and the velocity of electromagnetic radiations both are same. So the velocity of electromagnetic radiations same as the velocity of light. So these are the 3 important properties of electromagnetic radiations. So electromagnetic radiations are the radiations which are associated with associated with electric and magnetic field. There are different kinds of electromagnetic radiations. So they are gamma rays, X-rays, UV rays, IR, microwaves and radio waves, and properties of electromagnetic radiations. The next topic is electromagnetic spectrum. We know very well that there are different types of electromagnetic radiations. They are gamma rays, X-rays, UV rays, IR, microwaves and radio waves. All these are the different kinds of different types of electromagnetic radiations. Now all these electromagnetic radiations differ by either frequencies or wavelengths. Frequencies and wavelengths of these electromagnetic radiations are differ from each other. So based on that we can arrange electromagnetic radiations increasing or decreasing order of wavelengths or frequencies. So we will learn in terms of electromagnetic spectrum. The electromagnetic spectrum is defined as the arrangement of various electromagnetic radiations increasing or decreasing order of wavelengths or increasing decreasing order of frequencies is called as electromagnetic spectrum. Let us write the statement. The arrangement of various electromagnetic radiations in increasing or decreasing order of wavelengths are increasing or decreasing order of frequencies. Frequencies are called electromagnetic spectrum. So based on this statement we can understand by taking this electromagnetic spectrum. I took the frequencies gamma rays at 10 power 24 and next X-rays 10 power 18 around 10 power 14, 10 power 10 and 10 power 2. From here 10 power 24 to 10 power 2 and means frequency of the radiation is decreases from gamma rays to radio waves. So here I arranged electromagnetic radiations decreasing order of their frequencies. If you take opposite, if I wrote radio waves here and gamma rays here, that order is increasing order of electromagnetic radiations in terms of frequency. Now coming to the wavelength. So here is X-rays gamma rays has around 10 power minus 16 to 10 power 14, 10 power minus 14. Then coming to the IR is 10 power minus 6. Is 10 power 8, 10 power 6. So 10 power minus 16 to the 10 power 8, that means the value is increases in terms of what meters. So I arranged these electromagnetic radiations increasing order of their wavelength. I arranged decreasing order of frequencies and I arranged increasing order of wavelength. If I wrote radio waves here and X-ray gamma rays here, then 10 power 8 will come here, 10 power minus 16 will come here. Then means that in that case there is increasing order of there is a decreasing order of wavelengths. So in simple words, I arranged these electromagnetic radiations decreasing order of their frequencies in terms of H and arranged increasing order of their wavelengths. This arrangement is called as electromagnetic spectrum. The arrangement of various electromagnetic radiations increasing or decreasing order of frequency. In terms of frequency we are defining. So arrangement of various electromagnetic radiations increasing or decreasing order of frequencies or increasing or decreasing order of wavelengths. So we are defining in terms of frequencies, we are defining in terms of wavelengths also. This type of arrangement we have to call as electromagnetic spectrum, because we are arranging in the by taking frequency and the wavelengths. Each and every electromagnetic radiations, they are different frequency as well as wavelengths. Now coming to the point, at around 10^15 we have a visible light. Our eyes can detect it. This is UV region. So UV region around 10^15 we have visible light. In visible light also we have a spectrum of VIBGYOR. So violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, red. This is not, this we are calling as visible spectrum. Visible spectrum. So we are getting this visible spectrum around 10^15 frequencies in UV region. Of course, visual spectrum is a part of UV light. Now let us look into some importance of these electromagnetic radiations in our daily life. If you look at the gamma rays are used in our radiotherapy. So we are using this gamma rays in medicine. That especially for radiotherapy, for cancer treatments. Radiotherapy we can use gamma rays. X-rays also we are using medical imaging. If any bone fractures will be there, in such case we can take the X-ray. So in that case, imaging of these fractures we can take X-rays. It is also used in medicine. Imaging. Medicinal imaging. Next we have UV radiation. UV radiations are used for germicidal lamps. Germicidal lamps. So germicidal lamps in the sense to kill some microorganisms, we can use UV radiations. In the UV region, around 10^15 Hz, we have visible light. This is nothing but visible light. In that we have is 10^44 angstroms to 10^50 angstroms. This visible light are I able to detect. Then we have is IR rays. IR rays are used for heating purpose. Infrared radiation are nothing but heating purpose we can use. Next, microwaves are used for radar. So microwaves are used for radar, and the last one is radio waves. The radio waves are used for broadcasting the signals. We are using communication signals. They are nothing but radio waves. So radio waves are used for broadcasting. So this is simply electromagnetic spectrum. Electromagnetic arrangement of various electromagnetic radiations, increasing or decreasing order of frequencies, or increasing decreasing order of wavelengths is called as a electromagnetic spectrum.